Late. Hello. I am late. There we go. Hey, things are turned on. I'm sitting here in the right chair. Sweet gadzooks. Hi, everybody. I hope everybody's had a good day. I've been plugging away, trying to figure out stuff, driving myself crazy. That's what we do. You know, the problem with process is that it often leads you down rabbit holes, and yeah, I don't know. Just getting stuff done, but at the same time, you know, there we go. Hey, Frankly Mapleton has said, "Boy band in space." I hope that means you like it. Yeah, this is a fun page to do. I started on it yesterday during the stream. Yesterday was a lot of fun. Yesterday was a really fun stream with a lot of really fun people. We were having a good old time. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what counts, you know? Like, I do this anyways, right? Like, I'm going to be drawing in whatever nonsense I'm doing in my studio anyhow. But if we can all get together and have some fun during the making and breaking of things, that's cool, you know? And I'm keen like a jelly bean for that sort of scene. So hold on. Caffeine free, sugar free, because I'm exciting. All right, so somebody told me a regular size can looks teeny tiny in my hands. Awkward. Yeah, we're having some fun. There's been all kinds of cool things that we've got done so far. I have sat down and put together the first couple projects already this year, and I'm at a loss for you know, what to do next, and that's always fun. That's always challenging to sort of when you got X amount of projects done and under your belt, and you got to figure out what to release next. You know, today's page was number 131 for the one-page comic extravaganza since the start of the year. So we're having a lot of fun doing that. Thank you, everybody, for sending in your one-page suggestions. Thank you, Frankly Mapleton, for yours. That was super keen, Jelly Bean. So yeah, you know, I really enjoyed that. It was one of those things. So hey, welcome aboard, Adam. How you doing? There's a few other things going on that I'm trying to get sorted out, but yeah, so this is why I tend to start the stream and not having any idea of what one page to do today, and flipping through the book like a sort of a lost bunny rabbit, a bunny what's been lost, you know. And it's which is ridiculous because I'm in pretty good shape, so you know, in general. But it'd be nice if I could sit there and formulate a plan in advance of doing this stream. But that's part of the fun. I think that the autonomy of being able to do whatever page I want is great, and at the same time, not being too tied in on having to figure out specifically what it is that I'm going to do, having to figure out specifically what it is that I've got a plan for the upcoming next thing, because I think that takes away from it. You know, it's the David Bowie quote, right? To be an artist is to be dysfunctional. So it's my favorite part of that quote. The second part of that is, it's a kind of loony thing to do. So, you know, it's true. Artists, they be cray. So I thought that I would just get crack-a-lackin' and start drawing some of Pikachu on today's, whatever today's is. I think that I'll do, so we got all these 500 years later, and there's some cool ideas in there, but I've done a whole bunch of these, and I don't want to just sort of you don't want to lean too heavily into one's subject of like sloths, right? I don't want to do 83 sloth pages. And at the same time, there's some fun sloth ideas. But, and then I've got a 3 prompt in front of me. Just trying to make sure I got everything, what I've got checked off and what I don't. But there's some silly willies coming up, that's for sure. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll do a pencil and similar to the Hey Kids Comics page that I did recently. Maybe I'll do a page like that where I'm just pencil markers, things like that, right? There's so much potential and so many crazy ideas. Senior citizen showdown with walkers and wheelchairs. All right. All right, let's go with that. Why not? That's fun. So just writing a note for myself about it. All right. So, I'm going to put it on Post-it so I can put it in a thing. Somebody's got a David Byrne quote here. Oh, it's Adam. Real beauty knocks you a little bit off kilter. Nice. David Byrne. There's a great thing today that I got a chance to watch some of. Thanks, Jim, for sending me the link. Was Bill Plimpton's been doing a big video today, and man, it's so cool. Some of the people he's got coming in. What was I saying? What am I doing? Senior citizen showdown with walkers and wheelchairs. And wheelchairs. That's Rachel. Rachel's been doing some cool alpha beatery bits since yesterday's stream, and that's kind of keen. I'm curious if anybody else that was on yesterday's stream with me, if you've looked into the alpha beatery idea and if you're exploring that. Also, I checked out Dan Vask and Sam Ryder. Yeah, they're cool. I like those. They're good performers. Thanks for the recommendation for that. I think it was Riri. So, okay, so we've got today's page posted, which is Boy Band in Space. So it's been a productive week. Yesterday I posted the weekends pages. I just didn't bother posting Saturday and Sunday, so I just saved them all up for Monday. 1, 2, and 3 pages of a 1-page comic. And then of course, today's page is the Boy Band in Space suggestion from Frankly Mapleton. And Frankly Mapley, however you want to call him. But this was a fun one to do. It's pretty dark, but it ends in Babington. So how dark can it be, right? Got a lesson on Babington. Oh no, that's my other project. Don't look. Okay. All right. So what have I got? Switch the old Kamarooski. The other thing I want to tell you about, I'm not going to get into the sponsors today, but the other thing I want to tell you about is, there's the 1-page book from last year that's got the first 40 pages that I did, and it's a portrait format, not a landscape format like I normally do. Look at me, I'm Madonna. And then the other thing is I've started posting some shorts on the YouTube channel here on 1-page comic extravaganza story time. So it's mysterious voices reading aloud some of the pages, and they're mental. So, all right. So we've got the old board that clips here, and our subject today is Senior Citizen Showdown with Walkers and Wheelchairs. That's a fun one. Thanks, Rachel. And thank you, Frankly Mapleton, for today, the suggestion today, which, yesterday's page that we did. This was a keen as a jelly bean one. I get that out of the way. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I especially had a lot of fun with this transitional sky to space thing that I put on the page. And let me pull it up. I'll show you what I mean. there's two things that I really enjoyed doing. One was the sky to space aspect of the image. And then the other, of course, is to try to figure out how to draw an explosive decompression. I don't know anybody in Washington State. So I had a great time doing that. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for that. So there's always something I want to challenge myself with in every page, and that was yesterday's challenge, was trying to figure out how do I draw a vehicle lifting off going outer space. I know the suggestion is boy bands in space, but rather than focusing on the boy band component of it, I focused on them going to outer space. Because I'm complex. I got a complex, all right. All right, so get that out of camera again. So I ain't doing no promo for no pop company. That's my fun in the sun pencil to use. Is this Mastercraft? I went to the jam last week, and I showed somebody my sharpener for this pencil, and it's disappeared. And I know I didn't leave it there because I cleaned up the tables and put them away at the end of it all. So trying to figure out what happened to the old Sharperooski. And if I just misplaced it or haven't paid enough attention to look for it properly. Let's try it one more time. Yep, it's gone. It's not a big box. Well, I can switch to this because I like to use a really thick pencil when I'm drawing. And I have a primary printing pencil, like from when you're in grade school. I like drawing with that sometimes too. And the thing about both of these pencils is that they've got a really nice line quality. And but I recognize how ridiculous these pencils are for a old man to be using. But you only live one time. You gotta use the pencils that make it seem fun. All right. Okay, so let's start with having some fun. Senior Citizen Showdown with Walkers and Wheelchairs is today. So, I'm going to start drawing some old folks, and let's have some fun with that. But let's see what I settle on for how I'm going to draw today's page, because yesterday's page was pencil crayon and manipulation. The page before that was pen and marker with photo or with digital blah blah blah. And so let's keep on keeping on and have some fun, right? Like the whole thing about any of these pages, any of these projects is that it's just I'm going to use whatever I'm going to use in whatever moment. There's no real direction behind it. Are you a regular lead pencil?
Oh, yes, I am.
It's kind of a fun pencil. Really bland. No stain, no nothing on this pencil. It's sort of a pencil that says, I'm comfortable in being me. So let's see what Markset makes. Yeah, that's why it's cheap pencil. I get it in. I got it in. That's good. All right. Yeah, see, that's a nice little lighter line. So let's play with this a little bit. I want to have, so my first idea is I want to have some seniors giddy like children. I think that one of the things that I really liked for years growing up was the Monty Python sketch where the gangs of grandmas. That's cracked me up. Recently we talked about this in a stream, and it's cracked me up so much that I wanted to do something with that recently. So if I get an opportunity to do so now, I'm going to, right? But you gotta embrace the things that call out to you. If there's something that just sort of sticks in your thoughts for a moment, explore that. get right into that. What do we got? 15 minutes. I actually got working within the first 15 minutes today. Instead of chatting and yakking and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, if anybody's got any one-page comic ideas, as per the old usual, let me know. I'm always interested to find out what you got in mind, what your crazy notions are, kids. This is, it's fun to me. So I'm just following along the lines in the face, trying to capture that emotion in the face that sort of says, hey, genuinely excited. Unless today's music is The Last Waltz. For now. I'll probably switch up soon. So I'm just getting Happy Grandma here. And then I'm going to get a couple more of these little figures all lined up together. And I'm going to... So here's the thought, is that if I approach it like a... If anybody's old enough to remember, my younger brother played with all the 80s things. He was an 80s kid. He was born so late into the 70s that he a lot of those early 80s toys were really put across his desk. So he, the G.I. Joe, the Transformers, the first G.I. Joe toys that I'd had were Barbie dolls, right? And when they came out, those little ones, I thought those are so cool in the design. It just all this, built-in details and this complexity to them, and used to try to encourage my younger brother, play with these and Star Wars toys, and he just hated my guts for it because he's like, I don't like these are stupid. So, we didn't exactly bond on that, but when I think back to that period of time, there was tons of marketing applied to television commercials and the like. Just hardcore, nasty levels of solicitation. It was just pure marketing to kids. And, it really sold the idea of, hey, kids, get into this. You're going to relive all these adventures and reliving fictitious adventures of artificially created characters. But it's funny how many adults that are from that time period just got so hung up on them. Like, they're just, I love He-Man. I get it, We all hang up on the things that we're interested in our youth. We carry those in a sort of special place in our heart. But, I mean, like, a lot of the 80s marketing, I really find a lot of those people are really still dialed into that. Transformer people, especially. There's the Church of the Transformers, And I can't say too much out of that because, anybody that was in the 70s, you're dialed into Star Wars. So, yeah. Star Trek even. Star Trek more than the 60s, late 60s, early 70s people. But, and I'm talking about prime period of development, associative development. So, like if you watched the original series of Star Trek on television, you're probably a Trekkie. You're probably, oh yeah, I like Spork, or whatever his name is, and T.J. Hooker. I mean Captain Kirk. It's just a weird thing about, and I'm talking specifically for fans of like science fiction and stuff like that. I was in that weird point just Star Wars, but just like I just missed Star Wars. Like I was a year late compared to everybody else. Saw it for the first time I played in the theater. Yeah, that's great. I was poor. But I love the Black Hole, and I like Battlestar Galactica, and it's whatever. It's whatever you tune into. And for me, it was really random and ridiculous things. There's something about the Black Hole that just it was so straightforward. The story is just so plain and simple and straightforward. They get on a ghost ship. Don't like the ghost ship. Something wrong here. We got to get out of here. We're not going to get out of here easily. It's pretty easy to understand, pretty easy to identifiably dial into. But as is Star Wars, as is everything else. But I mean, Black Hole is pretty on the nose. So good robots, bad robots. Good scientists, bad scientists. And yet there's these underlying plots, like the one person's father was a member of this crew and they disappeared. And maybe I'll get a chance to see him, little things like that. Just randomness of it. But that's the stuff I like. Ronnie Hawkins came out. I can't stand Ronnie Hawkins. Not a fan of his music. Largely because I don't think I connect to white guy blues. So I'm putting in our first grandma and trying to make her look enthusiastically happy, but at the same time, a little bit intense. So you gotta have some fun with it. There's an interesting thing too. Creator process. I've been watching a number of things about the process of making and the process of trying to find your source and your style of expression, interpreting the world around you through your expression, and how that says something about you is the nature of one of these documentaries I was watching. And I don't know what the way I work says about me, but probably ain't good. Not that I'm really worried about that. I'm having fun anyways. Yeah, I hope she looks excited. Let's get some teeth on this lady. How else is she going to chew on her vegetables? There we go. And I'm pressing in harder for the areas inside of her mouth in order to get that deeper tone, deeper value. Just like I'm about to do in her eyeballs. And then let's put some emphasis points around her eyes. Which emphasis points, of course, just me pressing harder around those areas. But there's the sort of draw I want the viewer's eye towards. So, yeah. And then I got to get the rest of her fun haircut in. She kind of looks like it's a lady with the sausages. What's the lady with the sausages? I'm trying to think of Paula something or other. Paula something or nothing. That's what I call her. So I'll come in after the fact and I'll tighten up some areas where I'll put, the really strong emphasis points that I want in. I'm going to come in with a black pen, just a moment, and I'll do those because sometimes you really want to push that contrast, but I tend to want to get a lot more structure in a drawing before I really start pushing and pulling it. I know that many other people will just lay down those heavy values as they go. They'll just sort of tractor from the top down to the bottom or left to the right. I'm going to take a minute. So I think it's Tuesday. I had a thing I should have gone to today, pick up some pieces from an exhibition today, but I didn't get a chance to make it. So, things happen. Okay, so just getting her the old thumbs up here, and giving her a little bit of texture in the top of her hand too. Having some fun with it. There we got 26 minutes. We're making progress today. Give her a couple little wrinkly lines along the side of her hands too. Think, to pay attention to your own hand. If you're starting to see some, age lines or movement lines on your own hands, and you'll start to see those probably in your 30s, where they really appear and your hands are pretty and smooth. Unless you're working a really good labor job, you tend to wear your hands in a little sooner. But look for those things on your own hands and realize the exaggeration you can get your emphasis in on the hands the older they go, right? Just because there's that's what aging does, is it loosens the skin up, so we see a little more sags and bits and bobs and more additional fun textures. And I love that stuff. That's the stuff I like to look for when I'm doing a drawing, a portrait, whatever it is. So softening those lines. Nice, soft, round, pillowy arms there. Just, again, give a sense of weight and gravity to her. And then we'll get her next hand in on this side too. Whee! Throwing up the shade on the part of her hand that's pushing away from the viewer and overemphasizing the knuckles. So just to try to give a little bit more depth to her hands. So, and then keep the hands, of course, similar in size to one another, right? Some more of that texturing going on. So, well, yeah, thumbs up. Gotta give her a thumb up. I've done this a couple of times now where I'll draw these senior characters and I try to give them a sort of gleeful. I always try to have somebody, one or another, or if there's a couple of them, or I always try to have somebody with this sort of gleeful attitude to life. Because a lot of people I know that are getting older, they are having fun. Life is short and stupid enough that you gotta have fun. A little roll. Continuing this texture down the arm. I don't know how well it's coming across, but here she is so far. Thumbs up. Let's get her neck in here. No shadow on her. Little fold in the skin. It's normal. That's what I was trying to explain earlier about how as we get older, our skin moves. She's having a great day, this lady. Let's get some of the. Is this one? Okay, she's dirty. So let's get this point. We'll put some texture in on the shoulder. Some of the fabric fold here. It's pretty evident once you start looking at it for people. I think I draw my folds pretty evidently similar. You see enough of how anybody works, you'll notice that they've got X amount of drawings with people with folds in their clothing and stuff like that, and you can usually go. You see the similarity as you go through those drawings and look for those things. And that's normal. It's completely normal. It's you'd look for those places in fabric and those places in form where the clothing would bunch, right? Where the clothing would gather. And like on my shirt here, you can see the buckling of the fabric here. Maybe I'll lean this way. See, there's a buckling in the fabric there. And there's that little crevicing that goes on in here, raised area there. Like you just sort of just look for those things and explore putting those in your drawings. You know, think about how anatomy works and how when clothes hang and rise and fall over a person's underlying skeletal anatomy, skin anatomy underneath. T-shirts don't look the same on boys and girls. Put some more of those textures, those little lines of movement in the arms. Paula Deen. I think that lady's Paula Deen that I was referring to earlier. I think that's the person's name. They cook sausages or something. I don't know. I don't pay attention to TV celebrities. If you want to know anything about them, or you see pictures of them, though. They probably stick inside your head, you know. So I'm bunching up the fabric over her chest, just because that's what happens on a person with a more full figure, is that the fabric tends to go, hey, hey. And that's how light and shadow works, right? So. All right, so there's our first panel. I'm going to come in and, you know what, maybe I'm just going to go all the way down here, give her a little bit more form. Just so that I can stretch and pull that panel, right? We got more people. Oh, there's Adam. Real Beauty knocks you. I got that. Hey there, Adam. Hey there, Jim. That's super cool. Your Jim was interviewed by Mr. Bill Plimpton today. For anybody that missed out on that, if you get a chance, check a look at Mr. Plimpton's live broadcast today. You know, after the stream here, and we'll put it up at the end there. Okay, so there's our first panel of our happy senior lady. I can do a couple more in behind her. I think I might. I like the idea of that balance where you've got, you know, different faces and, you know, in a shot. So it just gives a little more something to it, right? So I'll put another bird in there behind her and another feather on the other side there too, just to populate it a little bit more. So I didn't specify who the boy band members were that didn't have such a great concert on my page today. I had considered about specifying who they specifically were and giving them names that sound like people I know's names, but I just was having a lot more fun with the ridiculous television narrative. That's not good. That doesn't look good. That's not how it's supposed to happen. You know, fun stuff like that. So I'm just getting another lady who's happy dappy do behind her. And you know, there's a bunch of people smiling like crazy in a picture. Something's going wrong. But I'm still, like I said earlier, I'm trying to find these lines that give them the sag and movement and form in their face that they would have. But you don't want to make people ugly, right? You want to have some understanding about how those chins work and so on and so forth. There we go. So here's another happy gal behind her. Give her a shoulder line and then get some of her neck in here. So like the Hey Kids Comics or Hey Comics Kids, whatever the hell I put down on that page. You know, I've got a couple of the these kids. Maybe this can be like a pairing page to that one. But here's these seniors that are acting like, yay! So I like people with personalities that are buoyant and happy, and that's the stuff. That's the good stuff. So we're putting our other lapel in here. What's that? Patty lapel. Somebody else is here. Good morning. Here, anyways, Christopher. Good morning. There, anyways, Gary. Yeah, it's 3:15 here, so that's got to be what, 11:40 there, I think it is, where you are, Gary. Pardon me, did I yawn like a jerk? I'm sorry for that. So I'm keeping track in my head of this. Let me put a ruler down. I've drawn with a sort of imaginary border, and try to keep my lines following that, so that when I transfer to, so when I'm transfer my scans to the image, I'm not losing a lot when I put the panels in. So just making sure that my lines, yeah, see, everybody's fun. Everything's fun. Everything's just dandy. I don't know, just the sort of stuff that maybe consider those things if you're drawing and you're going to utilize that drawing, whether it's through scans or whether it's just your finished page. Just trying to stick to the plotting of your panels. So, all right, so there's 2 happy Grammys. It's the Grammy Awards. You've been rewarded with some Grammys. So I'm going to build up some tone in her outfit as well. There we go. We fun in the sun. All right. I'm good with this panel. Let's move on. Okay, so. Hey kids, do you like watching seniors have showdowns with walkers and wheelchairs? Yeah. So, yeah, I think that I'm going to have, let me change the scaling up a little bit. For the next panel. All right, so this is the great debate. Just going to push some heavy contrast in some of the black areas. Just because it can. Kind of makes it a little more over the top, a little more surreal. So when there's all this emphasis, it draws you to specific points, right? This is my Uli pen. It's a really nice fountain pen. I enjoy using. So. There we go. Put a couple more emphasis points here. Just let the eye move around a little more, right? Gives a little more variety and depth to the image, hopefully. There's a thumbs up, Grandma. Can I do that anymore? Any more places I can find spots like this for? Yeah, there's one. Let's put a little mark in there, and then let's get some business happening down here. Some business. What are we at? 45 minutes. There's the first panel. Gary J. Hodges, Jim says. What does a J stand for? Just you mind your own business. That's what it stands for. You better, Gary Justice Hodges. Look out, world. There's somebody new in town, and they're all about justice. Starring Gary Hodges, and you got to do that turn look to the camera, Gary. Chris's brain has gone off. Yeah. Okay, so maybe I'll put a couple little hey nows up here. And largely just putting in some of these marks to make your eye move around in the image. That's what I find that they do. This is the ant that you have that tells the really crude jokes. Goes, everybody's got to have an ant like that. All right, so there's our first couple of characters in the. Oh, I forgot to do the lady in behind. Let's get some stuff happening in here. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I want to do a lot of thumbs up. I don't know. What are you doing? A lot of people giving thumbs up, Chris. You are. All right, so, but let's change the scale, like I said a few minutes ago, and then put the next panel. It was really exciting to watch this conversation that I was watching earlier. To hear about all these different animators talk about what they're working on and talking some bit about their process. And, you know, there's so much insight to be gleaned from that. And what I was really respecting was nobody came out and said, well, I myself do this. Because you see that'll happen a lot with, now I don't mind that here, but when somebody's trying to do an interview with people, you really want to kind of focus on the people being interviewed or get out of there, right? Like, because some people just cannot restrain themselves from saying, when I'm doing the same thing, I use purple or whatever. And that's fine. And, people use purple. It's a natural thing. But so this is the next panel that I'm drawing now. And I'm being sure to change the scale and to change the direction of the eye. You do not want to draw a number of panels side by side that are all at the same height. It's kind of a pointless endeavor because the people that are reading that are going to go through it in seconds, unless you try to bend that stuff to validate yourself and put ungodly amounts of text on it to and to call that writing. It's important that you have a fair fusion of the two, but try to variate. That's the word I'm using. The size of your characters on your drawings, on your comic pages specifically. All right, so the raised cheeks, the squinting down of the eyes, and a little bit of action going on here in the face and some wrinkles. That's some of those key parts I find of getting that smile in, right? I'm sure that you've got your, method that you approach the facial expression from. But that tends to be one of the things I think about is how the tightness at the bottom lip, right? Little random things that sort of stick in your head. And you don't even realize that you're doing those because you yourself know that this tends to be how it goes, right? Because of the softness of the lead, I'm trying to work from left to right and stay that way because I don't want to smudge the heck out of this drawing. So, giving him a bald head. Mill pattern baldness is real, folks. It's got a spectrum of 63 different types of baldness. Trying to think of that. Sometimes close your eyes when you're thinking about, how does that look? How does that work? And you can sort of try to draw it in your eye first, right? I want to know how that downward slope or angle of the eyebrow goes. Side of the eye, side of the nose, side of the mouth. Iris. Yes! Okay. Getting some of those tired lines underneath the eyes. A bit of red on the nose here. Make sure to balance out the size and shape of the head. Balancing out the noggin. I do it every night. Give him a little old beard. A little old go to lead O to lead D. Goatee. He's so happy. Fun in the sun. So if anybody has one-page ideas, or if there's anybody got any magic question or thought in your head, feel free to shout them out. Unless it's your weird hang-up, you keep that to yourself. I have no problem yakking away. Yakking. While I'm working. I know some people can't draw and talk or whatever, and well, sure, whatever works for everybody, right? If you got one-page comic ideas, let me know. I'll take a look in just 1 second. We got to give this guy a thumbs up. What am I missing? Gary, Jim, draw. Hi, Seven. Stephen's a taskmaster. Draw, Christopher. Get drawn. Nice thing about just working with a pencil is the amount of territory that you can cover, the amount of drawing that you can get down, because you've just stuck to this pencil here and off you go. It sort of says a lot about how you can get more productivity out of your output, is that if you look at what tools facilitate you getting more work done, that's important. That's really important. So what in the world is, I put the wrong version of my album on. I only heard half the songs. I'm like, what happened to half my songs? It's because I put the short version and not the deluxe version on. Two album set, and I only played one album. So thinking about the planes of the hand, right? So there's the plane that's here. Then you've got the different forms and shapes that are in here, right? Circle. And then there's the size of the sides of the hand. So you make sure you realize that there's a plane on that side of your thumb and a plane on that side. And then there's another one over here. It's if you ever have an opportunity to carve anything, right? Like let's say you buy a block of clay and you set that clay out and then try to replicate things in your home. There's the toaster. I'm going to do a toaster with this clay. I'm not saying you have to fire it. I'm not saying this is fine art. I'm saying that when you look at something in a three-dimensional way, or when you start to come to understanding of form, like do a sculpture of your hand. Hold your hand up here and just work the clay to look like it. Is it going to be perfect this first time? Yes. No. Maybe not. Maybe it might take some time. But that's fine. Rome wasn't a glass that's half full in a day, What am I missing? Thank you, Chris, for your nice comments earlier on that animation stream. This one about you, Jim. No, I meant those things I said. And when I wrote those comments, I did so like this. Dear Jim. Dear. How do they spell that in American? With a G? An awesome morning today. Finally evicted, raising money. That's good. Yeah, it's good you had a good morning, 7. Nice stuff. Got to keep yourself busy. I saw your email. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. I appreciate you sending it, 7. I am behind on my emails and I'm trying to catch up. So, and when you got to catch up on your emails, you got to catch up on the official ones first. Which I got a really cool email today. I don't want to say much about it. I don't want to jinx it. But somebody's asked me about a thing, doing a thing, and that's, well, I'll give you one of these. Yeah, so that's compelling. I want to look into it a little bit. That's what I told him. And yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, okay, so here's something to ask. I can ask people. Is there an instance where somebody you know that's really desperately trying to make a specific action happen in their world because they have a very specific, lofty ambition? So here's my magical question. So something came up today that is sort of what the other person's looking for. And how do you, especially if it's a peer that you've been friends with for years and years and years, and you're trying to celebrate what each other do, and that objectively they've been trying to get this sort of a situation to happen for them for some time. And I myself don't tell people. I don't want to tell them that, hey, this thing is, yeah. There's been a few of those now, and yeah, it's. I'm not saying it to be like Mr. Braggy jerk pants. I'm just saying that, like, it's because it's happened a couple times at this point. There's a part of old Christopher here that's feeling like, am I lying to him? Am I keeping some secrets? Yes. Sometimes it's just as important not to tell people if it's going to do them disruption or upset. I think it's a lesson that a lot of people need to learn. I know there's a great deal of people out there that think that, no, you have to inform people so that they learn and grow. That's not your job. You ain't their mom. Well, whatever. But at the same time, if you're going to do detriment to somebody, I tend to be one that keeps that lip shut. Phil made a joke about unboxing his dishwasher yesterday, and I said, that's ridiculous. And I felt bad afterwards. Because, Phil's a very talented guy, and I could tell you 20 times over one that I'd rather watch him drawing or something else than opening up a box for a dishwasher. Don't say anything. It's a lose-lose situation for you. Yes, it is, Jim. It is. It really is, because it's not beneficial to them, and it's not going to be beneficial for the two of you in your connection, because you've just sort of said, that thing you want, right? And that's not nice. Now, I know the person I'm speaking about doesn't watch my stream, but so I'm okay with that. But an opportunity came up this morning, about 9:30 a.m. that keen, if it happens. I never trust these things that happen until they happen. So, Jim says, by any chance, are you referring to the life-size Barbie house idea I pitched to you? That was private, Christopher, private. That was at 10 o'clock, Jim. A life-size Barbie house is something that would get celebrated by a great deal of people, Jim. Private part wasn't the building of the house, it was the stuff after. Yeesh. 2-floored tree house in the backyard. It's ridiculous. Those kids will get a 1-floor tree house and they'll like it. Here's another happy senior who's giving a thumbs up for the next. So there's the introduction dialogue area. So when I'm drawing these panels, I'm trying to consider where can I leave room for text to go, because you're going to lose your pretty picture. So there's no point worrying too much about, I don't want to cover my pretty picture. But if you leave sort of static spaces or spaces that don't have an awful lot of engagement information in there, like it's not something that's set in a course of action, or it's not something that's, heavily defined. If it's like in this case, this open area of the shirt, great place to put text, great place to put dialogue. Gary says, I think I got Gary here. Gary says, for what it's worth, I think a life-size Barbie house is a very good idea. And he pats Jim on the head. I'm just saying that if we're building a life-size Barbie doll, I really need those doorways to be tall. Because when I'm wearing my high-heel Barbie shoes, good afternoon, good people of the internets. So I understand it's not happening to your thigh deep in it. Oh, jeez, there you go. Oh boy. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I don't. I had something come up this morning, and this friend of mine that's been working towards this says that their ambition. I'm not going to tell them about it. I'll just kind of try to quietly do it. And there's a shared friend that we have, and which means I can't tell them either, because they will tell them. So that's only because we forget. We're human beings. We all forget. Gotta be careful who you say what around. Anything you say around the grandkids, they remember all of it. They will repeat it at the most inopportune time. If it's their parents that said it, they will spill the beans on them, whether their parents realize it or not. And if I say something in the van that, let's say, a less than favorable driver in front of me, I can't do that in front of them because they will say that. Speaking from experience. My oldest son never spoke much when he was little, and then his first fully structured sentence was him. That guy's a blank and blank, isn't he, Grandma? I'm like, what? Mother-in-law went just beet red. Oh, she was, oh no, where'd you hear that from? Can't be helped sometimes. Yeah, you can't tell some people things, and you can't express things with a hope of expectation that it's going to maintain. So that's a problem with, and I hate these NDAs. I don't know if anybody here has had to ever sign an NDA for an opportunity, whether at your workplace or an offer that's passed on to you, but they are the worst. Because it's like, that's exactly the stuff I want to talk about. Oh my gosh. I just got the coolest email, or I got the coolest message on planet Earth. It's even better than the other email I got this morning. Jim says, you want to know how you really look? Ask a kid. Oh, yeah. Yeah. My one of my grandkids let me know that, Grandpa, you're less fat. And that, I appreciate that. That's a lovely comment. I can't get over comments like that when they don't mean anything bad, but those are the things that always crack me up, because the kids are like, they mean it in a good place. They're like, you were less fat. You were fat before, but now you are less than that. And they don't mean it in any malicious way. They're just punctuating on reality. Your hair is messy. Yes, it is. That is my style. They don't even have to say words to shut you down. And then they're even better than that when they start getting their own little expressions, and they'll say stuff like, it's a style. And the kids will go, okay. They don't believe in that style. Clearly. They clearly do not believe you have any style. And since I am afflicted with old mantitis, I know I'm not cool or hip for any of the. There's no illusion of, I'm the hip grandpa. Ooh, ah. This, by the way, is my impression of being hip. I got that from my mother. Sorry, man, but that's what she does. Oh, your kid's gonna go out dancing. Oh my Lord. And that's me. That's who I am now. So. But my cool niece, Kate, she gets my goofy one-liner jokes. She gets my little sarcastic footbacks, and she gives them back in return. So I'm cool with one of them. All right, so we're just getting in some of these textures from his sleeve. So what I'm drawing now at this point is the sort of, it allows me to draw the reader into the world by having these thumbs up, happy seniors. And but I get to put those talking points on each of those panels. So on this first one, it's like, hey, do you like watching showdown fights? Or whatever you want to call it. And then, yeah. And then, do you like watching them when people use walkers and wheelchairs? Sure do. Just ridiculousness. If people don't like kids, well, it's been nice knowing you, but yeah, it's kids are going to let you know. Yeah, kids will tell you whatever the hell they want, and they don't care. Okay, so here's our second guy. I had thought about putting like a wrestling belt above his head. So I need to think about what does a wrestling belt look like? Any of these fighting belts. I'll put one behind his old noggin here. Let's just make up some kind of symbol for it. Maybe we'll put a walker on it. That could be a good logo. I just gotta answer this. Learning how to spell. So some of the sort of thoughts that go through your head when you're working on stuff like adding in elements or trying to put in little suggestive symbological notes, like little drops. If you look at Mike Mignola, he'll do that in his Hellboy comic, whereas he'll have Hellboy walk into an old derelict church, which is where he's being sent for some mission. And as he walks in, he's in the doorway, and it cuts to an open shot of the courtyard of the church that's all derelict. The roof is collapsed in, and it's like overgrown, and there's an old broken stone cross, whatever it is. And he'll say, you know, creepy, and then he'll put a little panel in there of just a little bird, little chickadee or whatever it is, or whatever little tiny bird, you know, a barn swallow or something, and it just has two little notes, like it's gone, you know, and it's just that he set the tone of comes up to this place, goes inside the place, has a response about the awkwardness of the place, but for some reason, that additional panel, that of just the bird, sort of being disturbed by his presence there. In the case of this story, it makes the image far more powerful. And the reason that it makes the image far more powerful, how do wires work, is that it's an extra beat. It's an extra beat that holds you there. And if you can put those into your work, you're kicking it, because that's the coolest. That's the stuff that sort of holds people. Right? I try to figure out how I can do things like that, because to me, those are the moments that sell a scene, right? They just sell a scene completely, in that making the weight an extra beat. Or you can do the same thing if you freeze somebody's face when they're mad, or there's some action change, and where somebody stops and just looks out at the viewer through the camera lens, or at whatever subject it is, and that moment draws your focus into the intensity of it, right? So there's so many cool things that you can try like that. But in the context of this page, I'm trying to do little rhythmic beats, little rhythmic moments of, what do you think of this? Yay! What do you think of that? Yay! Are you interested in this? Of course. And then just drawing it up from there. 7 says, look, a giant belt buckle in the front. Okay, I got that part. I just, I'm trying to think about just talking about Ric Flair. What kind of specific design these silly things have. Haven't been, not a real wrestling guy. Not a big wrestling, woohoo wrestling. Yeah, not me. Janet would be so happy with me right now. That's just never really been my bag. I watched in the 1980s, maybe the 90s, maybe. Whenever Hacksaw Jim Duggan was on, that would be around the time that I sort of finished up on. When you saw less of him, you saw less of me watching it. So, just because I love the idea of these big 20-guy wrestling fights on the stage. And then one guy comes running in with a 2x4. Just like watch. I love that. It's just pure chaos. So, but wrestling when I was a kid was over the top. My grandfather used to watch that and crank me up. And it was in Highlander. Have you seen Highlander? For a film whose tagline is "There can be only one," there's been an awful lot of Highlander. There's a cool thing about Chris Lambert. I don't know if many people are aware of this. Chris Lambert's an actor that played in Highlander. But he and Chris Lloyd also did at least one Dortmunder film. And if you are familiar with Dortmunder, The Thief, this series of novels, Chris Lambert and Chris Lloyd as Dortmunder and his father-in-law. And the whole idea is that he's a thief. His wife wants him to stop. His wife's dad is his crime partner. He's like, "Of course we'll stop, sweetie. Stuff's in the trunk." It's like this fantastic ongoing drama of the three of them. It's she loves him dearly, but it's her own fault for marrying a guy who's like her dad. So is how she puts it. So, but the Dortmunder series was great. I'm drawing a walker on the belt. And we'll start from there. So I put a seat. I've got the crossbars going here behind this fella's old noggin. And I put a seat down here because a lot of walkers have chairs to sit down. Hey, it's Joshua Campbell. How you doing, buddy? I'm drawing old people having showdowns with walkers and wheelchairs. And a lot of thumbs up and a wrestling belt. Maybe I'll put, got to do something America, right, on this sort of thing. Isn't that what wrestling belts are usually heavily themed on? The culture of where they're from. What can I do for this one? I don't know. I really don't know. Oh, yes. So I'll put some grips on the chair. Make sure you get, when you're drawing something that has dimensionality to it, that you get both sides of said object, or else it just completely loses selling it. So Escape from the Elderly Home. Nice. It's basically old people fights. All right, so we've got the handles on the walker now. And of course, this would all be in a uniform gold with orange highlights, right? Do a color hold and convert the black lines to gold, and you know. There you go. You've been Kremlized. Yeah, so let's do this. And I'll have opposite on the other side. And let's raise this up a little bit there. There we go. So I'm putting some wings behind the walker, just to fill it up with some details. And we'll put some stars in here too. Got to really kitsch this thing up. Get a couple of those going. Hope you're having a good day today, Josh, and everybody else that's been stopping by. I appreciate that. Standing order. If anybody has ideas that they might have about one-page stories, or just, you know, silly stories, let me know. Serious stories. Could you do an insightful piece about something terrible? Guess so. Do I have to be silly or serious? That's how the cookie crumbles. Oh my goodness. Oh, if that's not on a t-shirt, I don't know why this world exists. Oh, for heaven's sakes. You've left Jim crumbling in his boots. Oh my God. Good Lord. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. It wasn't me that said it. It was that one-armed man over there, Joshua Campbell. I want to see an over-the-top Miami Vice comic. You know, there is an over-the-top Miami Vice comic. There's one that actually exists. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts, but fantastic too. I'm trying to think of who published it lately. I think it might be Boom, but Boom Studios did a Miami Vice book that's just crazy. Oh, you want to see one drawn by me? All right, I'll put it in the book. 80s montage. Christopher's hopes and dreams for this dream come crumbling down. See, now I got that song. And the wall come crumbling down, and the wall come crumbling. Down. 80s action montage, Miami Vice. That's right, I did pronounce it montage. Grumbling. What's night business style? What does night business style mean? I'm curious to find out what night business style is. I'm a little concerned too. There we go. There's our official old people wrestling belt. And then we'll get the leather part around it too. Don't want to forget about the leather. Google night business. Do I really want that in my Google search? Night business. All right, I'll look it up. If this is going to make me go, oh, those are yucky, I'm going to tell you that. Night business. Does anybody else know what night business is? Are you talking about night court? Oh, that's Mara. That's Ben Mara. Do it in Ben Mara style? That's kind of what the Miami Vice comic is in. It looks like a Ben Mara book. It just, the drawings are far more angular and stuff. Look it up. Look up the Miami Vice comic. I think it's boom. Yeah, Ben Mara. Ben Mara is great. I really like his work. Do a Ben Mara image in my style. What's my style? Old people thumbs up. Yeah, I like Ben's work. Ben's been to London here to the convention, one of the conventions in town. I don't know. I think it might have been Shockstock, HorrorCon or something. But he's definitely been in London. Oh, I got to put some side things of gold, whatever these things are. I have to come up with something for those too now. Great. What are we at? 1:30. Yeah, it's in your style, but over the top, violent and neon. Oh boy. Neon, eh? All right. In the night business style. I'll write that down. A la Ben Mara. Over top, neon, violence. Sure, we'll put that in the book. We'll get one of them done. I like a genre challenge too. The superhero page that I did recently of my pseudo Batman and his villains. That was a fun page because it's not a lot of the action stuff. I don't draw a lot of. And so to have an opportunity to do something like that, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. You know, keeps me out of the trouble there, but you know. Here we go. With that belt going off the shot. continue this one out a little bit. Might have to move that somewhat. What do we got? I love his stuff. Yeah, you should. He's got great stuff. Please tell us more about your next one-pager collaboration. What do you mean? The next page I'm going to do, or the book? The book we're gonna get together now. This is page 131 this year, and we figure that we're gonna do. The first book is going to be, we're not sure, 80 or 100 pages is what we're deciding. So, and I'm going to print it through an online printer. So it's going to be good. My next collaborator. Oh, okay. I see what you mean now. Sorry, catching up. So I've asked somebody super keen, and as soon as they're done, they've got a function coming up soon. And once they get through said function, they're going to jump on a page with me. And they're very busy in the moment, and that's exciting. But in the interim, I have... Oh, and then... what? The collab with Dee Dee Willingham. The one she wholeheartedly agreed to do. Are you trying to make Dee Dee have to do a collaboration? My friend Sammy, she's going to do a comic with me. We're not sure what it's going to be. I think it's going to revolve around plotting out something together, and she'll be on the stream soon. We're going to get her on here and sit down. It's probably going to be on a special weekend episode. But she does. She's got a fun book out here called My Stupid Dumb Brain. Just makes me laugh. But she did a short comic called The Unicordian that we published in one of our apartments anthologies. I think it might have been number 14 or number 13. And it's hilarious because the unicordian is there's these little kids that want to play with the unicordian, and the unicordian is the entire time you see the unicordian, it's just pure anxiety. It's like, oh, hey kids. Oh, it's so good. You guys are trouble. The 99 panel page with horses, crowds, and details. I do not think TD's into the drawing on page that insane. Yeah, I know I'm not. That page would have to be, let's start with this, Joshua Krimble size. And because Josh, you work on big sheets. What are you doing? What are your page sizes, Josh? Are they 2024 or something like that? Because you do on a big piece of paper your original work. You could do a 100 panel page on that, but you really have to reduce down the imagery that you do, because you can only get so much detail on anything in any given space. But in something like that, you got to keep it really short. All right, so just getting some stars in here on the side plates for the belt. And then I'm going to go in and make some black marks. Yeah, no, we have no plans to do a 100-page book, but that's a fun thing. 99 panel page. You're crazy, man. You're crazy. Truth, you do 20 by 24 pages, Josh? That's great. Windsor McKay did 20 by 24 pages. That's 20 by 24 pages are easy because you can go to a dollar store and buy a piece of Bristol, and there you go. You've got the right size comic page for yourself. It's just unless you work at a place that has an industrial scanner, good luck scanning that in one shot. there used to be a architectural supply store in downtown London, and they had because they did blueprints for architects, they had the big industrial-sized scanner that could scan architectural plans. So that's 2 foot by 3 foot drawings, but it cost in the 1990s, 2000s, it cost $3 a scan. So, it tended to have some purpose to it. If you're gonna pay to get a scan done. Josh says 19 by 24, but only on his 2 stories book. If you haven't read Joshua Kemball's 2 stories, please look into that. It's a wonderful book. We're really happy to have copies of 2 stories in Jacob's Apartments, Lori and I. If Lori's going to do comic review, boy, oh boy, she has got another review coming up soon, actually, about somebody else's work that we all know. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But it's exciting stuff to me, because she read some digital copies of something, and yeah, loved it. So review is on its way, and we're having fun with it too. We're going to do it in a fun format to emulate what's going on in the book, right? So that's always fun. I like doing silly stuff like that. Jacob's Apartment was relatively small pages, and the one I'm working on now is to scale. What do you mean to scale? Like you're drawing it at the size of the comic page, or you're just drawing it entirely digitally? I'm curious about what the scale is and what scale you're referring to, because you just told me 2 different scales. I'm not telling Josh. Yeah. Yes, indeed. But it's fun. It's fun when you can get there has to be like some sort of realization that the people in your world that you know aren't necessarily comic people, and yet when you have something that you can present to them that they go, oh, okay, yeah, and it sort of sits to their interest. That's nice. That's a rewarding feeling, especially if it's your stuff, sure. But comic people's partners put up with an awful lot of stuff. Any creative person's partner puts up with an awful lot of your weird stuff. If you are in a relationship with somebody, you got to appreciate what they got to deal with you making things. So Josh has a baby talk version of his books. It's called 2 Stories. You just wanted me to do that. Jim's already got it. Nice. It's got to be an exclusive. Is it an exclusive, Josh? What do we got to do to get a copy of that, Josh? If I'm done a button, I can't get done up easily with my goofy hands. Joshua says cartoonist partners need an award. Oh yeah, in a big way. And it's also a healthy thing that, if you're not with a partner and they don't appreciate my thing, there's people out there that appreciate the thing. It's just a case of finding the right partner. I can't get over. I'm a lucky cat with mine. Okay, so I've got some of the. See, now I'm a little overzealous with the fountain pen. There we go. That feels better. All right. So, would you want to see showdowns, or you want to see senior citizens fight with walkers and wheelchairs? Yeah. You want to see them compete for the title? Yeah. That's where we're going here, folks. And now I gotta draw a couple of seniors posing for before the big match, and because I'm dark. This is a dark comic. The full fungus is great for kids too. True stories, but all little babies, like when they made Looney Tunes babies. Yep, he's crumbling all over us. Yeah, I never understood Looney Tunes babies or Tiny Toons, Tiny Toon Adventures. Isn't that what it was called? It was good. It just, I like the Animaniacs just because it has, Dr. Scratch and Sniff, stuff like that. Full fungus. You didn't think he was going to do that? Which one throws dentures at throwing stars? This one. It's a way to bite you on your way out. I call it the long distance hello. See, I'm trying to, I don't know that it registers as much when I do a little bit of pressure on this pencil here in order to push the depth of a line in comparison to the ink work, because when you put that little bits of ink down, that pulls all the focus. So I'm gonna put a little bit more emphasis in there. Try to draw some of that down. Yeah. I just got caramelized. Face fuchsia, tongue out. Hashtag caramelized. Trademark. All right, so the next panel will be Granny's flexing, because that's how my brain works. We're at 1:42. This is a lot of fun, but I gotta wrap it up soon. A couple more minutes, and then let's go. I'll stop at 15 minutes. So yeah, we're gonna do Granny flexing. I got an exciting email, and it's sort of thrown me off of my head here, because or a message, whatever you call them. Somebody sent words to me. Words are hard, Roxanne. Werner Herzog's kids documentaries are kind of in the same vein as Two Stories. How are you not using that as the sales pitch instead of, it's like when you mix this and this? What are you doing? Similar in the same vein to Werner Herzog's children's stories. Is going to flatten people. People have to, comparing a couple other projects is good, Josh, but referencing Werner Herzog as the dialogue as for your project is going to blow people's brains out of their heads. Of course, it's going to make the readings of your book dramatically different, right? Dramatically different, especially if people read every character in your books with Werner Herzog's voice. In fact, that's a great idea. I think I'm going to do, let's see. Let's try this out. Let me try something out. Okay, here we go. I've got this. This is today's page. If you read this, is boy band in space. Members of the group are about to take the ship. I can't even do it. I'll make myself. I can't even make myself do it. Members of the group are about to take to their ship.
The Space Boys are lifting off. Today is an exciting day for fans of the Singers. The very first planet-wide performance from a space platform. This is being broadcast all around the Earth. Brought to you by CBC GlobeNet, the only source of real information. The ship is opening. Oh, that's not supposed to happen. No, indeed it is not. I'm being told that it is an unexpected decompressive explosion. I think that this is going to put a damper on the show. Yes, we are sorry to announce the show has to be cancelled. We are going to switch now over to full contact badminton in Taiwan. I think that what we've established here is anything should be read in Werner Herzog. It changes everything. It changes everything. Hey, open up the Bible, see what that does for you. You know, in the beginning there was darkness. Oh my gosh, come on. What do we got? Please read a peanut strip in Read a peanut strip in Werner's voice. Yes. You snooze, you'll lose. Yeah. I love that. That's a great idea. What's Josh? That's a great Herzog impression. Yeah. How do you say Werner Herzog in Baby Talk? Werner Herzog. That's how you say it. Your name is Werner Herzog. What do we got? Josh says, read by Herzog, then ended with existential dread. Charlie Brown as Herzog just fits. It so totally does. It so totally does. Okay, let me see. Let's see if we can find one. No, I can't because I got to put it on screen. Well, maybe we'll do it for tomorrow. Gary says, I would argue Herzog fits Peanut's tone perfectly. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Yeah, that's so good. That's too good. Just picture her now saying, so, good grief. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yeah, anything by Herzog. That's okay. Today's task for the day here in Project Mayhem is to go out and try everything that you see as read by Werner Herzog. Football, always calling, never answering, the endless kick into the void. Oh my God. Depeche Mode lyrics as read by Werner Herzog. Anything will work today. You're gonna start laughing like a lunatic. And yet he never attains the football or tiny red head of his aspirations. Werner Herzog doing the teacher's voice. Wah, 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 wah. He wouldn't do it. He'd say something like, the teacher expresses some inanity to Charlie Brown. Yeah. They're instead lost to the cold, calculated, hateful rules of nature. Okay, today's goal. Read something in Werner Herzog and try not to make yourself laugh before you can make somebody else laugh beside you. Don't explain it. Just start reading Werner Herzog around someone. Doesn't matter what it is, but just do your best Werner Herzog impression. And I want to hear them. People send me your Werner Herzog impressions, get a free drawing. How's that for setting a challenge out there? Oh my God. You're instead lost to the cold and calculated, hateful rules of nature. I can't tell you how full of glee I was when the first time Disney does a Star Wars TV show. Werner Herzog's going to be in it. That completely validated Disney doing Star Wars on TV for me. That's what it took, was Werner Herzog is going to appear in this season. Perhaps in her own cruel kindness, Lucy is saving him from his own deeper angst. See, you don't even have to add all the verbiage to it, though. You could just literally read Charlie Brown, and it fits it without anything additional.
Let's see. All right, let's try one. You're not going to see the pictures, but we'll do one. What have we found? Okay, we've got Peanuts featuring good old Charlie Brown. And it's got, I don't know, I could put it there. Am I going to get in trouble for this? Yeah, Josh, dude, I was over the moon when that was announced. I only own a couple of these pop figures, and one is my grandson picked out Space Ghost because he's cool, and then Pinky and the Brain because my granddaughter's cool, and Werner Herzog. That's the three that I own. I got the Werner Herzog from Star Wars. It's a Werner Herzog figure. Who cares what it's from, right? Okay. We've got it here. We got Peanuts featuring good old Charlie Brown. Come in, sit anywhere. Good evening, sir. Welcome to the fanciest restaurant in town. Our special tonight is dog food. It is scooped carefully from the can, flopped lightly into the dish, and stirred vigorously into an appetizing delight. You'll have the special then, sir? Good. You'll not be sorry. Would you care for a drink before dinner? A bowl of water, perhaps? Fine. Your water will be with you in a moment. And the dog says, if this is such a fancy place, why the paper napkin? Yeah. I'm going to get demonetized. Like I'm ever going to get monetized. That was fun. That was fun in the sun. Yeah, anything Charlie Brown, it doesn't matter what it is. You just get to read it as Werner Herzog. That's the rule now. That is too fun. Oh, I just turned off my music. Oh my gosh. Yeah, try it out. Try it on. Go out, find Calvin and Hobbes. Try that as Werner Herzog. Try some Tintin. Nothing touches Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown's too perfect for it, isn't it? The whole Lucy pulling the football away would be the perfect pages. Herzog doing stand-up. Doesn't he always? Doesn't he always do stand-up? Guy gets shot while he's doing an interview. This happens. Isn't that stand-up? See, the thing about Werner doing stand-up is that it's Werner being Werner. But my favorite part of impressions and of people doing placing other people in context, like Sean Connery ordering ice cream, or Werner Herzog reading Peanuts, or Al Pacino ordering a mochaccino. It's just whatever it is. If you set them outside their comfort zone, right? Robert De Niro asking somebody to bring up toilet paper, like it's that to me is always the best. It's not them being them, it's them being normal people. And one of the funniest things, the funniest bits I ever heard was Jeff Goldblum telling you what his favorite food is. And it starts as hot dogs and goes to licorice. Yeah, licorice. No, wait. Hot dogs. It's like oh my God. I always like the ones where Charlie Brown acted like a waiter. Was he being genuine or sarcastic? I'm going to lean into the sarcasm on that one. Herzog giving a halftime locker room speech. Any hockey chirping from Werner Herzog would be perfect. Or, just imagine him going to a store and trying to order his wife a bouquet of flowers. Oh my God. That's brilliant stuff, guys. That's a lot of fun. Well, I hope I didn't butcher Herzog too badly there, but we had fun for a moment. Yeah, that's your challenge for the day. Go find something in Werner Herzog, or go find anything. Try anything out. Read the packaging on a container of bleach. Do it, whatever it is, whatever you're reading today. Read the Inquirer as Werner Herzog. Don't add Werner Herzog verbiage. He literally just has to read whatever the text is that's on the page. And to me, that's funnier. That's funnier. Read, what is the magazines that has all the people at the star-studded gala events that are completely disconnected from reality? Whatever those magazines are that are at the pharmacies or wherever. Read one of those. If anybody in your house has those, read one of those as Werner Herzog. Don't explain yourself. Just do it. And if you don't know who Werner Herzog is, look him up. Too good. Too much fun. His interviews are the best thing on the planet Earth, because you've never heard a director talk about his own projects, and the same way that Werner Herzog recognizes that it was a process of insanity. Just too much fun. All right, and with that, I think I'm going to sign off for today. This is good. Oh my God, there we go. That's getting a star. This is good. I started out getting Kremblized and ended up getting Herzog. That's too good. And before that, you were Plimpton. Jim was interviewed today by Bill Plimpton on a live event that he's having. I think it's on his YouTube channel, Jim. If you get a chance, folks, go check that out and give it a watch. Bill Plimpton, I've loved Bill Plimpton's work for going on, I don't know, 20 years, but more. Who are we kidding? Probably since the 80s. I don't know, a long time. But yeah, it's a fantastic interview. The making of Fitzcarraldo is better than the actual movie. It really is. It really is. And anytime that you can hear the way that Werner and his oh my God, what's his name? It's not Koenig. What's his who's the main actor that he would work with numerous times that no one else wanted to anymore? He was in Moon, not the remake one, but the original. Klaus Kinski. It's Klaus Kinski. The way that those thank you, Gary. Gary says Kinski. The way that those two behave with one another is fantastic. It's just fantastic stuff. I think Kinski tried to stab him with a knife at some point. Wonderful. Okay, yeah, I'm going to clock off for today. I'll be back to 2 o'clock tomorrow. Thanks, everybody, for coming and hanging out. I hope you had some fun. Your job, if you're up for it tonight, is to read something at random, doing an impression of Werner Herzog. And if you record it and send me a video, I'll do you a free drawing. That's called evidence. Yep. All right. Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Thanks for coming to hang out in the stream, everybody. Today's page is suggested by Rachel. It is Senior Citizen Showdown with walkers and wheelchairs. And so this I'll have posted for tomorrow. I'm going to do it in pencil and a little bit of pen hits here and there. And similar to the page that I did recently, Hey Kids Comics, which is about the mail order superpowers one that I did a couple weeks ago, I think. It was a couple weeks ago. So, yeah. Otherwise, I'm going to get crack-a-lacking on the stuff I got to get done. Phil says, cheers, everybody. Have a good one. Yeah, come on back tomorrow, everybody, 2 o'clock. And if anybody's got one-page comic ideas, let me know. You can either put them in the comments after this video gets posted out in a few minutes, because there's no point in putting it in the chats. It might just disappear on me. I've had that happen a couple times. People try to put something in the chats at the end of the stream, and it gets lost. But send me an email if you want, or go on to Instagram and Facebook where I post the finished pages, and take a look. There's see if there's any in there that you suggested that you didn't get to see finished, because I was mentioning earlier, this is page 131 since the start, or 132 actually, since the start of the year. So we're having a lot of fun doing these. At least I am. I hope you guys are too. And I'm not crushing you with the deliberacy of, the universe's banality. But yeah, take a look and tell your friends, tell your mom. It was just Mother's Day. You didn't get her any flowers. Give her something to look forward to. All right. That's about it for me now. I'll be back tomorrow at 2:00. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.